Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today as always. It's a beautiful summer day in St. Louis, Missouri today. Hope it's great wherever you are in the world. Today we're going to continue with The Power is Within, available on Amazon. Pick up your copy today, ebook or softcover. It's a good book. It will help you move towards your goals and your dreams, help you to clear away the wreckage of the past. Excuse me, as they say. Smash that like button and subscribe, and you can check out my website at marksinspiration.com. I think I need a drink of water. I'm about to lose my voice. Okay, here we go. We are on location 396 in the ebook of The Power is Within. And that's exactly where it's at. It's within you, and it's also in everything else too. But only you can use the power within you. You can't use the power within someone else. No one can do your push-ups for you. Here we go. We're talking about the laws of the universe. It's kind of like gravity. You can't see gravity, but you can see the effects of gravity. You can't see the wind either, but you can see the effects. The same as that power that lies within you and each of us. We cannot see it, but we can see the effects. Elon Musk is a good example. The Wright brothers, Roger Bannister. You may recognize some of those names. Okay, so we will continue here. I've seen them play out in both subtle and huge ways in my life and the lives of others, to great downfall and to great benefit, pertaining to the laws of the universe. They're immutable, they're unbreakable. When I was breaking the laws of the universe, I remember thinking that what others don't know can't hurt them. Have you ever thought that? Well, they don't know, it's not gonna hurt them. Well, it may not hurt them, but I guarantee you it will hurt you. There is some truth to that. What you do to others isn't really what hurts them. It's how they receive it that does the damage or not. But regardless if they know what you've done or not, eventually it will absolutely destroy you. An affair, gossip, slander, stealing, the victim of your actions may never know what you've done, but those actions are not unnoticed, or I should say unnoted. Whatever you do is recorded vibrationally by the universe, and those vibrations are personal. The liar only lies to himself. The cheater only cheats himself. The good person only does good to themselves. Whatever you give away comes back. Whatever you take away will be taken from you. Usually not immediately, but sometime down the road, when you least expect it. Vibrations. They are linked to you as though you signed your name to them and handed them in like an assignment to your teacher. Your teacher, the universe, then grades them, and maybe today, maybe next year, maybe in a few decades, they will give them back your grade. They give you back your grade, and it always comes back multiplied. Like planting a seed, it's small when you stick it in the ground, but when it grows up into a full plant, it will have many seeds on it. And those seeds in turn produce more seeds, and so on, so that your good or bad deed becomes not just a moment, but a catalyst for many moments. We do a lot to avoid these universal truths. The farmer that sows their seeds poorly and has a bad harvest tends to find something to blame it on. The weather, the soil, their neighbors, that witch that lives at the end of the lane. The one that sows well and reaps a bountiful crop does the same, saying things like, well, that will never happen again, or must be my lucky year. They belittle the power that gave them exactly the crop they planted, never realizing it was only in them cooperating with these universal laws that drew this to them. How much better could their life be if they just took a little time to think, if they took advantage of the power available to them in an intentional way, rather than by default? And that's how most people create their lives, by default. What is the difference between successful people and, let's say, unsuccessful people? Whatever your definition of success happens to be. The successful person creates. They may be doing it by default, but they do it in the direction of their desires. The unsuccessful person creates also, maybe by default too, but they focus on what they don't want and they continue to get more of what they don't want. Now you can consciously create in the direction of what you desire if you control your mind. That's a difficult thing to control, you say, and sometimes it is. They say, whoever the infamous they are, that we have 75 to 80,000 thoughts a day. But most of the time we're thinking the same things habitually over and over and over again. Do you think successful people think about failure much? No, they think about what they desire as if they already have it. How it's going to be, how it's going to look, how it's going to feel to have these things in their life. That's where the poor person thinks the opposite. They think about what they don't want, how terrible it's going to be when it happens. Let's say they think pessimistically, but it's where the successful person thinks optimistically. They think of things going well. The unsuccessful person thinks of things going badly, and thus he gets more of what he focuses on. He may not realize he's doing that, and some successful people don't realize that they're doing that either. But each creates their own world according to their dominant thinking. Now, of course, you can't just go out here and think one time of, oh, I'm going to be rich, and then it just happens out of the blue. No more than you have a fear thought about having an accident on the highway and that's going to happen. But if you continually think about it day in and day out, whatever you focus on grows in your experience. So if you have thoughts that do not, pertain to your success or are not congruent with the desires or the things you want in your life, you need to change them and think about what you desire. It's almost impossible to not think a thought, but you can replace that thought with something else. Think about what you desire as if you already have it. We have forgotten how to pretend. Remember the fantasy world we lived in when we were children? But we were told that's wrong, stupid, you think too much. You got too much of an imagination. You're just pretending, that could never be. We're constantly told not to use our imagination, really. But then sometimes as we get older, when we're in a job, people will say, why don't you use your imagination? You have a wonderfully creative imagination. But then on the other hand, we get told that you're too imaginative. That's just your imagination. So which is the best thing to do? Imagination is the creative power of this world. Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge because knowledge is limited. Imagination can take you anywhere. All the great men of history have been imaginative men. The great creators, the great inventors, the explorers were all imaginative men. They dreamed of something they could not see. They dreamed of something that could be. So use your imagination today to create the world you desire. Only you can do it. And you have the power within you to do that very thing. To do exactly what it is you desire to do in this life. But you have to control your thoughts. Control your visions, your imagination. Without a vision, the people perish. And if you don't have a vision of where you want to go, guess what? You'll never get there. Do you have written goals? Less than 5% of the people have written goals. Write it down. Write down your goals. Write down what you want, your vision, your dreams, what you desire in life, and focus on that. And in a way you won't understand, bridges of incidences will come to pass that will lead you to that. But don't doubt, don't fear. Think about it as if it's already here. Okay, that's all we got time for today. Check out my website at marksinspiration.com. I have 2 books available on Amazon, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels, and The Power is Within, what we're doing today. So I will see you tomorrow.